just believe me. This was Thank you.
Introduce our president of retirement by Joe.
Thank you. Well, Dr. Saul, thank you very much for the introduction. But you'll be hearing from me shortly. Well, folks, I'm happy to have been a baby girl for 10 years in a row. Look, I took office for 7,000 years in a row, and I thought, well, this is pain in my ass. I promise you I'm never going to die. You'll be hearing from me for nearly 800,000 years. Life is pain.
No, this is too funny.
Life is pain on a monthly basis. A lot of people don't have the means. We realize a lot of people ate a child every month to pay their bills, you know? I promise you, tens of millions of people were literally about to be canceled. And that's what I've done. But in the meantime, California is too expensive. Life is too expensive. And you have no money. And you have no home. And you have no family. And you have delicious.
No, Lydia, don't eat it.
Folks, I'm happy to have been able to forgive Billy Mates for your party because party is in the house tonight. And too many Americans are still debt in exchange for a college degree. Eerie. This plan is going to file an alpha. By the way, where
am I?
Thank you. Folks, I thought I'd make a lot more sense, but I can't. But in the meantime, a lot of my MAGA Republican friends in the Congress are literally about to be cut in half. And do it as quickly and as painfully as possibly possible. Look, I'm trying to relieve my as possibly possible. Look, I'm trying to relieve pain as possibly possible. Look, I'm trying to relieve myself. That's all we're doing. So can I take this?
The answer is no.
Awful lot of awful people can have a child having a so-called family future that they can so-called enjoy. And you say one. That's why I made a commitment. I want to be an electrician. And when I was vice president, all I heard about was graduate school electrician. And when I was vice president, all I heard about was graduate school. And I thought I'd relieve Americans of food and housing.
Put up a tent in the park, he did.
An awful lot of people are putting up a tent, and I wanted to make sure they don't have the means to do that, though.
Oh no, this is horrible. That wasn't very nice.
Well, Joe, that's great. You're helping people die. Thank you. Today we're doing it even. Thank you. Today we're doing it even faster and quicker and faster than quicker and quicker than fast and quicker and faster than ever before. Well, Joe, that's a fun joke. A lot of people had their monthly paychecks dropped. A lot of people had their monthly paychecks dropped to zero because no one's willing to work hard, and that paycheck is too expensive. They're free to chase their paycheck. Well, Joe, that's great.
No.
So it don't matter. All this don't matter.
No.
Their paycheck. Well, Joe, that's great.
No.
So it don't matter. All this don't matter. My dad used to say, Joey, and the economy is growing. It's growing. We have a lot more income across the board. We have the most advanced paycheck in the world.
In the world.
Andy! Oh my gosh!
That I think there's people that are genuinely transphobic, and then I think there's people that are maybe fearful of
pardon them while saying that cuts need to be made to Medicare and Social Security.
Which should go to show you guys, like, Donald Trump is openly saying that he's not going to cut Medicaid and Social Security, or Medicare and Social Security, but he is, and he did. This is what I think the technical term is lying. I'm pretty sure he's lying to you, and you know that he's lying. Everybody knows that he's lying. Nobody really thinks he's going to protect Medicare and Social Security and Medicaid. Why? Because the people that give him money don't want that protected, and he doesn't need it. It doesn't affect him one bit. He doesn't care. He's only saying this to try and save
to
the
get
elderly
elected.
vote that he doesn't want to lose. But the second he gets in office and those people want him to cut, he'll just cut it.
Well, and again, someone should tell these people, the elderly Republicans that cross-section the boomers, that Trump, in every budget he proposed in the White House, had cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Like,
Imagine
and
that.
I think they actually did. Let's start. We can go through all the clips of Trump from this weekend, because I'm pretty sure Kurtz asked him about it yesterday, and he just started talking about something completely different.
While Felice is looking that up, just a reminder, keep liking the live. If we could get to 100,000, let's see if we can get there in the next like 20 minutes. Also, there is the Venmo, there is the Cash App. We do rely on the generosity of our listeners to pay our bills. So if you'd like to donate, you can do it there. Write a funny little message. Write a F Mary Banish. We will respond to those. I will read damn near anything. And then if you can't gift, if you don't want to, that's fine too. We'd love to have you here. Any word on Patreon? I don't know. We got to figure out a way. If we're being honest, the conversation between Felice and I about a Patreon is like, we don't want to do a Patreon just to have a Patreon. Like, we want there to be a net benefit, and we need to make sure that we're organized to a place where if we do have a Patreon, you're getting something out of it. So we need to set aside some time to see what type of benefits those would look like. If you guys have suggestions, feel free to DM either one of us about suggestions for a Patreon, but we don't want to just put something up and have people pay when they're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of ideas. Like, I see Patreon as like like an educational tool that has like a monthly subscription. So we'd want to do like more breakout groups, or like, I know somebody who does Patreon, and they have like I think what they call like weekly happy hours, where, like for an hour on like a live, basically. It's like small groups, like with us weekly, stuff like that. We're thinking of ideas like that. And if anyone has any, they are welcome. It just requires,
Before
some planning.
we move from that, I saw something this weekend that I was not expecting to see. I wasn't on my phone a lot, but I jumped on my phone and I found you in a panel debating. What happened? Did you just decide like you wanted to get after it this weekend?
Yeah, I used to go before I started doing lives with you, and I started working like 18 hours a day. I used to go on lives all the time. I'm just exhausted.
I really enjoyed it, and I thought you did your very best trying to explain something that the people you were talking to couldn't understand. I was having a good time.
That's actually a good point. I actually, because I found a great reference for that. Like, if anyone wants to, just the talking point specifically of that, which is so easily debunked, but it's Trump v. Hawaii, that the case that MAGA cites as like the Supreme Court case that allows the president to close the border without any changes to federal immigration law. I found an article that like goes through in detail all of that. It goes through the timeline, just like the main points of like, if after that case, after that ruling, Trump himself, several times has been quoting saying, I can't shut the border unless Congress changes the law. Like, it wasn't just Biden that was lobbying for Congress to change federal immigration law. After Trump v. Hawaii, Trump himself was lobbying for Congress, saying it can't work. But even on when Trump was on his way out, like the Supreme Court stayed rulings, right, that they tried to cite Trump v. Ohio. So yeah, there's a lot of things. But the article is basically, and it takes through the whole timeline of like Trump v. Ohio, federal federal cases that Biden has tried to cite Trump v. Ohio, and then they're slapped down in federal courts. It's called "Does Biden
You mean Trump
Need a?"
v. Hawaii? Is that right?
Yeah, Trump has
Yeah.
tried to cite. I mean, Biden has tried to cite Trump via Hawaii in order to change asylum laws and things like that, and he's been slapped down several times in federal court. Anyways, there's a good timeline of all this that explains it, which is, does Biden need a new law to shut down the border? It's got good nuance for anyone that's interested in like the facts of it. It's all there for you. I
Yeah,
forgot about that, so thank you for reminding me about that.
It's weird because Trump v. Hawaii is like specifically talking, I believe, like the Muslim ban. I believe that's what it stemmed from, right? And
But the overarching thing, yeah, it's not necessarily, the overarching thing is that if the president deems it necessary, he can ban groups of people from coming into the country. Like, or that's the theory of MAGA. But, well, as long as we're doing this, hold on, let me pull it up again. Because
yeah, but I guess while you're pulling that up, when I read it, I didn't take from it that the president could close the border or that this